Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Arena by Travis. So, let's see what we have tonight in the arena. First opponent is playing a red bunch of spells build. What I mean by that is he's capitalizing on our powers, he's capitalizing on our Seize the Storm. Let's see how this match goes for us. Matches up, and I am playing my clerics build. I'm risking it by taking 2 whites. I really need at least 1 black, but we're going to see what goes on. Nothing exciting on either side of the board yet. I really have nothing in hand, just a bunch of answers right now. And with that, we're going to pass turn, because there's no way we should play the Phyrexian Missionary so early in the game with nothing to reclaim with it. Smoldering Egg, that is a problem. And as you'll see as this match goes on, I really have to concentrate on keeping that Smoldering Egg busy. With this kind of matchup, it's not so much playing smart as playing obstinately. And what I mean by that is you've got to make the opponent continue to reclaim ground. You can't give them ground thinking you're going to bring back board later. Even if it costs you, you've got to keep them constantly wanting to do stuff. Because not only does their deck just want to constantly do stuff, but any inch you give them is a 2 miles gap once they get it. So not a good board for me right now. As I just said, once I saw the egg, I had to play the cleric even though I had no grab back with it because I need to keep that egg busy. And this cleric's going to give me lifelink. Usually that's not a game decider, but in a match like this, it could be. Plus, it opens up the range target because I'm trying to burn out his hand because obviously he has a ton of burn spells we want to burn out. Okay, there goes Cigar to Splendor. Not too helpful in this matchup, but as you can see by the way that the opponent plays it, it becomes a superstar for me this time. Now he does have that Guy's Flame in the back. He does eventually use it, but he never really capitalizes it. In fact, by the time that he gets around to realizing he has Guy's Flame, it's too far out of control for that to be a stabilizer, which is what it usually does. More reckless impulses, trying to grow his egg. He realizes he needs to get that Ashmouth Dragon out as soon as possible, but he doesn't know if he can do it. Now, the reason that this is a bad play for him here is he's burning out his deck with his reckless impulses. Now, normally for a red deck like this that wants to play, it's not really a detraction. But when I'm monopolizing the board a little bit, I'm not getting anywhere either. Don't think I'm saying that. But for his deck, he needs to capitalize, and he's not getting full capitalization because he's playing the reckless impulses too early, although maybe he really didn't have a choice to put what's in his hand. And there's Seize the Storm. That is what makes this really hurt. And he gets his dragon. Okay, what am I going to do? I need to play smart. I need to make him make plays. I can't let him hold a hand here. And of course, it's going to be Cathar. Everybody could have called that. But what do I get with Cathar? Do I get the Seize the Storm or do I get the dragon? Now, I chose the dragon because I didn't want him to hit other things with that Dragon Fire for 2 every time he casts a spell, even though I now have to contend with the Seize the Storm token. Now, as you see, he's looking at what I'm going to block with. I think he's realized by now that the cleric is only tossed out for lifelink. I'm just trying to gain life for that day when he abates me with every piece of burn in his deck. That was the only plan at this point. Now, that's only partially true. If you look at my hand, you see White Sun Zenith. That is another part of my plan. As you see, I grabbed the egg. If I White Sun Zenith, anytime that this Cathar is now out, he's going to get his egg back. So he does me a favor by taking out the Cathar. I don't know why he did it. Honestly, I was just going to tap the Cathar next turn if we blocked it. But he did us the favor anyway, thinking he was going to get something out of it. And he's trying to get those dragons to manifest, and he's getting them, but he doesn't realize what I'm going to do with them. I don't think, or if he did, he wouldn't have destroyed that Cathar. He would have done something different. I don't know. I take it to the face, but I've got life gain going on to the point where it's not hurting me too awful bad. And, yep, there comes White Sun Zenith for at least 5. Oh, it didn't do it that turn. Oh, I will do it. I want to attack first. It's always a good idea to go ahead and get my life gain. Since I'm going to lose my creatures anyway, it doesn't matter what he blocks with. Although he does try to make intelligent blocks here. I do give him that the effort to try to make intelligent blocks was there. It just didn't matter with what I was doing. Because now I've got creatures on the board. He doesn't. I've got rid of the eggs, dragons, the Seize the Storm token, even though he's in the graveyard flashback. He can bring those back if he wants. But it put the board in a much better position for me. And I didn't have to sacrifice too much because I already attacked with him. I already got my lifelink off him. And now I'm getting 2 cards off my splinters. So I put him behind in value, if nothing else. And there's the Seize the Storm. That is the most aggravating card to play against. I hate it, but in this matchup, I do fare very well against it. So I'm questioning at this point, do I want to White Sun Zenith again? I don't, because I'm going to Cathar that token, knowing that if he does take out the Cathar again, he's not getting his token back because it's a token, not a natural creature. I'll go ahead and put pressure on him by giving him poison tokens, whammo, blammo, and this is pretty much the song. I should have good gamed him here, but we'll go on. I never liked a good game early because it's really embarrassing when you good game early and then, you don't good game it. That is not a good game, let me tell you. He thinks he's smart. He burns down the house. Now, I could have gone with Toxic Krill at any point right here, but that was my backup to my backup to my backup. At this point, I know he has a lot of Seize the Storms. I need him to play them off so that when I wipe the board again, I'm not dealing with it all over again. So the point to do that is the Lunarch Veteran, the Shadow Priest, and the Angelic Overseer. Because while those cards in themselves don't really present much of a threat, it does look like I'm trying to play the board. And honestly, if you don't get rid of them, then I'm going to Shadow Priest right into a Toxic Krill or some other big nasty creature. So you can't sit on it either. It's going to allow me to make him force play. Whether that force play is something out of his hand, a burn spell to clear my board off, or whether it's more of those Seize the Storms, which is what I want. I want those Seize of the Storms to come out of the graveyard, be exiled, get tokens so I can wipe them off and finish off the game like I need to. The server was really hanging up at this point. It's like the game's over. This guy needs to give up. But it's all right. Because at the end of the day, even if this plan to burn out his hand fails, I'll have decent cards on the board. I've got the Lunarch that I can disturb back out of the graveyard. And if I have to, I can Toxic Krill, which against the Seize the Storm is nothing, but it is a possibility. It's there. And this is still taking a minute to decide what it wants to do. So Arena it's complex and easy at the same time. You can just play out your hand like every other game and do repetitive motions, or you can think ahead. Both of it's valid strategy, not insulting anybody. It's just the way the game ebbs and flows. So as we can see, the game goes on. I've got Shadow and the Lunarch Veteran in play. I'm getting card advantage. He gets another Seize the Storm out. He's now got 4 in the graveyard. It might not be a wise idea at this point to White Sun Zenith, but I did it anyway because I was going to get 7. 7 means even if he was able to, which he's not, play all his Seize the Storms from the graveyard, I would still get my last poison counters and the game is over. Even if he has some miracle save, I've got enough in hand that this match no longer matters. This is a victory no matter what I do. And I hate to be cocky with it, but that's what it is. And he makes his play I don't understand. So he goes for Jaya, makes a Prowess Monk. He's not going to be able to block 7 mites. Even if he Geist Flames, he only hit 1 of them. That still leaves 6 mites, 5 after his block. That's 10 poison counters. That's game. I go ahead and say good game because he just burned through his mana. There was nothing else he could do. And here comes all my card draw. That's the only bad thing about this deck. If it goes long, you start drawing really bad. And go ahead and play Shell Rod as just a backup, just in case something funky happens. Get the Paragon out in case I want to play some funny games if he does something funky, which I doubt he doesn't. I doubt he would have anyway. And I go for the final blow. He is going to block. And here comes his poison counters. Slabamo! That is victory. And that is match 1 that I want to show. Now, this has been kind of dry, kind of technical so far. I want to thank everybody for sticking with me. I'm just kind of experimenting, feeling how to do streaming. I honestly, when I start doing this, I have a lot of jokes to tell, and then I get on mic and I can't think of a single one. But I do like to narrate my matches when I'm doing really good like this. So as we can see, the cleric deck again, little bit different of a shuffle, but still, I don't know if I would keep that, and I don't, thank God. So I had two blacks, not one white. I need at least one white to power this deck. Two is optimal. This is a good hand. I'm obviously going to throw back the Overseer. Why would I do that? Because the Sleeper Agent, I can evolve and kind of use him in ways until I draw what I need. And the Shadowrite Priest, like I said, is going to get me big creatures. And the White Sun Zenith, of course, is a reset card for me. So obviously that is the play that I would have to make on that. First thing I should do when it's my turn is I should put out the Sleeper Agent. Why? Is because I want to start evolving that Sleeper Agent. Because right now with the mana in my hand, I can't really optimize him. But between now and when he evolves, I should be able to. There goes Sleeper Agent, and I'll pass. This guy, if I remember right, was playing this white, green, blue mixture that is pretty interesting, but he played awful lot. I don't know if it was just what he was drawing, but you'll see as the match goes on. He is playing very slow at the beginning. At the end, he gets a little more raptor. At an end, I do make some misplays, but I still pull it out. His mic's dancing, threatening me. I kind of like the way their pets move in this arena system, but I will say they need a wider variety of pets. Because honestly, I'm not paying money for a pet. And there's Gaelic Reader, usually in white-green. That is a death null because that means he's just going to pump the board full of stuff and take advantage of Gaelic Reader's abilities. Which is why I attacked with Cleric, because, come on, be honest, you're not going to block with Gaelic Readers. You're going to let me take 2 points damage, and if this is the deck I think it is at the time, I want to push damage early, fast, often. And yep, he's going to start pumping the board. He's going to start taking advantage of Gaelic Reader, which I don't blame him. That is a great opening strategy. Although I know a lot of people like Join the Dance. It's only 2 mana. It's got a flashback. All these upsides to it. Actually, if I was going to play anything, I like Rites of Harmony better than Join the Dance. To me, there are so many other ways to get these tokens out there. There's the Paladin, there is Cathar's Call, there's a lot of ways to pump your board full of tokens. Rites of Harmony, to draw a card every time you create a token, nutso. That's actually what I use in my King and Queen build, which you'll probably see a video of one day. I'm getting ready to remake that and make a video of that as well. Here comes the Soldier Boy. This Paladin is an all-star mini dex. Because me personally, one of my favorite cards from the past is Beast of Burden. Beast of Burden relies on you having a massive creatures on the board. This Paladin does this, not only does the same thing, but he makes them for himself. This Paladin is really an all-star, but it's also a removal target. So now I've got 2 removal targets on the board. But I have White Sun Zenith in hand, which is going to take care of both of them. What I need to do at this point, however, is stabilize board until I can cast White Suns. And that was the best move I ever could have made for that. The Splendor isn't going to do anything for me right now. I just need defense. I need to survive until I hit my White Sun for 7. Well, 5 mana to start cast, 7. So I am really, really dead on right now. It's how I should be doing with what's in my hand, but he is just getting a true advantage, and he is running away with board right now. In fact, even by looking at this, knowing that what I'm going to do, there is a severe question on what I should do as far as what I should block this turn when he attacks, as well as the fact that he now has that crowbar, which is going to take care of Sigurd Splendor, which is a good thing why I didn't even put it out, even though I didn't know he was going to play that. I just didn't play it because it was not going to benefit me and what I needed to do at that point. Here comes Gaelic Readers again, getting all buffed and pumped. He's got all these tokens. I'll take out 2 of his tokens, and I'll get slapped in the face a little, but I've still got my blockers for later. Now what do I want to do? I want to pump him. I want to try to draw cards. I didn't do that there. I decided that because of all his tokens, Toxicryl would be a good answer. Now, yes, Toxicrow is a great answer for this, but he's not quite set up for the fall that he needs to take when I put Toxicrow out like this. I, thinking back in this match now, maybe should have tried to do Splendor and just survive a little longer until I got White Suns completely online. But I win anyway, so there's no use in second guessing. So now it comes. At this point, I've got Toxicrow, and we would think that Soldier Boy back there would be my big problem. But amazingly enough, it's also Gallagher. They're both about an equal problem for me right now. Soldier Boy is going to continue to mass out his army, and Gallagher is going to continue to just take advantage, like the Harvey Weinstein back there. But I can't get rid of him exactly yet, and now I've just primed my boards where I don't want to wipe. So it's going to be interesting to see how I get out of this. So Resurrection of Ajano, it's a good enchantment situationally, but in this case, it's not doing much for him. It's not going to help him. The 3/4 he gets out of it, I believe, after it transforms, is not really going to make the board any better for him. Siege Veteran. Now, this hurts me. This seals the nail in my coffin if I have no answer for it, but luckily I do. Let's see what I do. See, the problem with Siege Veteran is that if I kill Soldier Boy back there, the Paladin, he gets a 1/1 token. 1/1 tokens are a big deal. I got Toxicrow taking care of the heavy work for me. The problem is this +1 counter, plus that, plus the Paladin's going to be throwing out an army every turn. This is all hurting me very bad. He chooses to protect his Paladin, not send it out. I don't know what I would have done had he sent it. I choose to kill his little soldier token and kill his citizen. Why? He's not going to get a soldier token off any of those. And maybe that crowbar stays where it needs to stay, which is in the back row unactivated. Combat's done. I get my slug. Now, here's where I misplayed. I shouldn't have played Splendor yet. I should have gone ahead and mass attacked, seen what the board looked like after, and perhaps White Sun Zenith. But I decided I want to try to draw the game out with what he had in his hand and what he had on the board. I really didn't feel like I had enough to apply the type of pressure that would pop the game to me. And right now, looking at the board again, I don't. He does the wise thing, gets rid of Toxicrow, puts a real Hurt Lock on me, he thinks. Again, I'm sitting on White Sun. Perhaps holding back was the right choice at that point, because now I have no choice but to block. And I block out his 2 big bads. I go ahead and take a little thump to the face. It's not looking great for me. But at this point, I can play White Sun Zenith. Bam. Gain life from Zenith, gain life from Splendor, get rid of his board, and set myself to go punch him in the face next turn. That is the right play. He's going to join the dance, try to get some defense going. I've already got my life kind of stabilized a bit, not as much as I would like, but it wasn't as bad as it was the turn before. He's going to Citizen Crowbar. He's going, oh, he does not take it out yet. He takes it out next turn. Okay, now I've got a choice. Why I chose Toxicrow there. I could have played games with the Lunarch Veteran and Shadow Priest, and honestly, I thought about it really hard first. But honestly, I decided to hold that in reserve. I didn't want to empty out my hand in case he did a bad board wipe, because I was barely keeping ahead of him at this point. Plus, he still had that in the trenches in the back, and I didn't know if he was going to go for Toxicrow first, if he was going to go for Scarred Splendor first. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I did want to keep options open. Toxicrow over there keeping my butt alive. And he's going to hit Splendor, which is fine. It cost him a token. Like it did nothing but help me, and I got it right back to the hand, thank God. And now we're going to play the game of it no longer matters. There comes Veteran. I'm going to gain my life. Here comes Shadow Priest. So even though he's at 19 life, it no longer matters anymore. Veteran's going to go, hey, here you go. So guard said, here you go. Now, usually against white, I don't like to attack with something that's a key piece like Toxicryl because of all the white kill attacker cards there are. But at this point, I couldn't let him stabilize. He was already so far ahead of me that a wrong decision was going to hurt. And I don't know why he didn't block Toxicryl. Poison sucks, but I just beat his face in so bad that I'm pretty sure this game's over at this point. If you're wondering why I checked his card back, I don't know why. I just have a theory that looking at somebody's card back kind of gives you knowledge about what they're playing. And I attacked with Toxicryl because I was clicking really giddily and zealously and didn't think about what I had said earlier, which is white has destroy attacking creature cards out the butt. You don't want to attack with the key piece. Luckily, he doesn't have it, and I get this win right here this turn. It's over. Goodbye. See ya! Thanks all for joining me. Keep the magic happening.